In the raving 80s, the Predator franchise was nothing but a fresh breath of air in the monotonous science fiction genre, where movies of the time seemingly focused more on the science part of the plot rather than exploring the thrills of action. Predator set itself apart with a deconstruction of various tropes in action films. The film starts with a group of badass paramilitary hunks on a mission where they strike and kill efficiently without remorse, do not feel an ounce of fear, and throw hilarious punchlines and one-liners while doing it. As protagonists of a typical 80s action movie, these men are portrayed as an unstoppable force of nature until a lethal predator appears in the picture and takes on them with full force. This rendered our group of heroes concerned and helpless, as no amount of resources, be it military training, advanced weaponry, or even bravado, stood a chance in front of this predator who is far from being human. All of these are eventually overpowered by the predator until only the one who merges as one with nature and plays the exact same field as that of the predator is successful in defeating him and survives this grand fiasco. The conflict of the plot remains engaging, appealing, and epic until the very end, as it elevates the heroes only to bring them down by an inhuman force of extraterrestrial being until they find a way to its inevitable demise. Apart from its enthralling plot, the most noticeable thing about this movie was the edits, cuts, and changes that were made right from its early days of production. The titular character was completely redesigned after only a part of the filming was shot, along with the innumerable alternate or removed sequences in the early scripts. This resulted in a plethora of crucial moments being completely chopped off the plot, which actually had the potential to give the movie flesh and depth. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This may be a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The infamous deleted ending sequence. Shane Black's The Predator 2018 insanely drifted from its original screenplay, which incorporated a series of cuts, edits, and reshots, along with the space for an alternate ending, which left the audience ablaze. The audience, especially the cult fans of the original Predator movie of 1987, waited on this 2018 sequel for a special Schwarzenegger cameo, but unfortunately, the ending of the original film showcased the science lab wherein Rory and McKenna had opened a cargo that was found on the Predator's ship, which seemed to have been left behind intentionally. As they opened the cargo, a certain piece flowed out, attaching itself to a lab scientist, which immediately transformed into a Predator killer suit before even deactivating, which drove them to realize that the first Predator was actually trying to donate it to mankind for an equitable fight against the stronger predators, revealing an obvious approaching war between the predators and humanity. In the last scene, McKenna jumps in to be the operator of the suit. The deleted sequence, on the other hand, was much more badass and was even more awaited as it had the Schwarzenegger presence. The original scene also incorporated a very tasteful and strong punchline that was shown in the movie trailer, but of course failed to make it to the original film. In the original screenplay from 2016, a chopper turned up Posey, McKenna, Rory, and Casey's grand fight with the Predator. Inside the chopper was a very traumatized Dutch, yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Dutch, lay still as his face is haunted and etched by pain. After his arrival, Dutch concluded that a secret war had been going on between humanity and the predators, which began a while ago. Fragments of this idea are showcased in the following iconic scene, which was shown in the trailer but cut off from the main movie, wherein McKenna looks up to the sky and throws a power-packed, adrenaline-fueled punchline. The scene ends with a snappy note when Dutch asks McKenna and everyone else to accompany him. The fans anticipated the original ending scene instead of a lame Predator killer suit reveal, which really breathed a heavy Tony Stark in his nanotech Iron Man suit moment. They looked forward to a stronger and more agile ending than a sloppy suit reveal. But unfortunately, Schwarzenegger had turned down the role as he thought the part was too small, and the studio also wanted to make a movie much more than something centered around the character's return. The studio could have replaced Schwarzenegger's cameo, but instead, this scene was fully edited out of the final movie. The good guy predators never made the final cut. The original screenplay of the movie explored a different story arc involving a group of good guy predators who had teamed up with a secret government organization to aid the Earth against the inevitable attack of the incoming wave of bad guys, or upgrade predators. These good predators were hidden away in Area 52 and were apparently going to fight alongside McKenna's team. It also had a story arc involving upgraded evil predators tasked with tracking down and killing friendly predators. The released trailers incorporated footage of predators fighting alongside the team in a tank, but unfortunately, this never made the final cut. The directors were forced to reshoot the entire third act because of this important element being cut out of the movie, as the studio thought that the American crowd wanted a more simplified plot of people getting hunted by lethal predators, because having good guy predators was a lot to process, and that would have unleashed a whole other backstory of their dying planet and the hope to find a safe haven on Earth, as opposed to the hybrid upgraded predator who was solely sent for the destruction of Earth and its inhabitants. The original opening scene was altered. In the final movie, the opening scene saw a Predator ship crashing on Earth's premises, followed by the introduction of the US Army Ranger sniper Quinn McKenna, who along with his team are ambushed by the Predator as they were on a hostile retrieving mission. But the original screenplay unraveled with blocks of texts speaking of the events surrounding Predator and Predator 2, successfully establishing that Project Stargazer was originally mounted to track the extraterrestrial activity on Earth. The texts further explained that the project was funding a linguistics panel at a top university in the hopes of a successful translation of alien languages which were detected during transmissions from deep space. The study so far has decoded the languages in over 50 different alterations of the word kill. The crash sequence was kept out. The released trailer of the movie showed footage of a Predator ship crashing in the swampy region of the southern part of the United States. But the crashing scene had a sequence which was cut off from the original movie. It explored the ship being found in a quarry and does not even mention the existence of a swamp in the scene. Hence, the dramatic crashing sequence of the Predator's arc, as hinted in the released trailer, was completely edited out of the final movie. Predator 2 had a deleted cameo from original film's Anna. In the Predator 2 final movie, Anna can be spotted for a brief second on background monitor screen, just right before Peter Keyes tries to capture the Predator within the premises of the slaughterhouse. This brief moment actually came to be termed as the Easter egg for the Hawkeye fans. Originally, the film was supposed to have Anna and Dutch make a comeback for explaining the events that previously went down with the jungle before, as shown in the first movie of the franchise. But Schwarzenegger could not make a comeback for Dutch's cameo, and Anna was assigned to do a short scene of her describing the former events so as to provide the sequel with a firmer bond to its predecessor. This scene too had to be cut out, as the movie would not have made any sense to have only one character to pull off the feats of both the Predator movies, and hence Anna's role in the movie was shortened to literally an unnoticeable second. A jogger flirting with Casey became a controversial deleted scene. One of the most infamously publicized deleted scenes from the movie involved the original introduction of Casey Brackett. The scene had cast Stephen Striegel in the part of a stranger who tried to chat up Olivia Munn's character, Casey, in a dog park. Stephen Striegel was a convicted sex offender, which sparked raging controversies building up on the film's release. Although it was a sensible move to delete the scene in question, the longer scene established Casey's knowledge of biology and evolution, alongside as someone who does not tolerate any form of bullshit from anyone. It also foreshadowed a later connection with one of the Predator dogs. If the issue came to light earlier, the scene would have been reshot as mentioned by director Shane Black. Rory's flashback scene was deleted. This scene in Shane Black's Predator portrayed McKenna's son, Rory, opening a package sent by his father that held some important Predator equipment. This scene was originally shot with Rory having a recurring flashback of the time when he was very young. He witnesses his parents having a major fight over McKenna being upset over the fact that his son is not more like him. But unfortunately, like many crucial scenes, the flashback scene from Rory's childhood was completely removed from the movie, and just the scene showing him opening a package was incorporated. A major character arc was removed. The final movie that was released showed Traeger as the man who was in charge of Project Stargazer, but in reality, the original screenplay had Traeger reporting to a character named General Woodhurst. Originally, General Woodhurst was shot to be the commander of Project Stargazer under the United States Army, and there were several scenes where his character was incorporated as the story progressed. But after the film completed its production, his character had to be edited out because of the movie duration being judged as too long. Lynch's weapon shopping scene deleted. Post the Loonies' arrival at the motel with their intention to keep a low profile, there was an extra scene where Lynch got into a huge fight outside with a very aggressive biker. From afar, a very annoyed McKenna was keeping watch as Lynch ignores his orders to lay low. As McKenna decided to leave his spot to get a cup of coffee from a nearby vending machine, Lynch finds a girl and keeps her entertained with his card trick skills, until a trucker interrupts the party and makes the girl leave. Lynch finds out that the trucker is actually selling weapons from his RV and follows him to check the stock. This scene was crucial as it had the potential to explain where the Loonies got all their weaponry and firearms which they used in the rest of the movie, but was unfortunately removed from the final cut. The deleted scene with the angry cryptographer. This scene was filmed right after McKenna and Casey were being questioned at the barn, while Rory was assigned to eavesdrop and overhear what Sapir was talking about with the cryptographer over Skype. The cryptographer was assigned to crack the access code for the missing ship of the fugitive. The cryptographer interrogates Sapir on the significance of the code when the Stargazer has not even located the crash vessel. Sapir responded that they wanted to go on board right after they had located its whereabouts. The deleted scene showing the attack on Area 52. A chunk of shots in this sequence had appeared in the movie's trailer, but all of that was eventually edited out in the finished film. Like the final movie, the original screenplay had the final act beginning with the evil upgrade Predator attacking the already crashed Predator ship, which was previously acquired by the Stargazer personnel working for the government of America. The final film had the ship still located in the same area where it crashed, but in the original screenplay, it was taken to the nearest military installation after being recovered by the Stargazer. The military installation came to be known as Area 52. Following this, the evil bad guy Predators staged a raid and tried to steal the vessel on the site in the middle of the day. The APC Chaser deleted scene. Post the upgrade, Predator attack on Area 52, a grand action sequence was going to take place where the Loonies, along with the two emissary good guy Predators and a boatload of Traeger's men, had set off on the hunt in a convoy of APCs forced to fight the hybrid Predators that were unleashed along the way. In the running course of this scene, Nebraska fought off the hybrid Predators with a machine. Weirdly enough, several action shots from this also appeared in the movie's trailer, even though it was removed from the final cut of the released movie. The deleted scene determining the fate of Coyle and Lynch. The final act of the original screenplay showed Lynch and Coyle dying the death of a warrior while fighting the evil Predator hybrids. In the original final act, Lynch was murdered brutally by one of the Predators, whereas Coyle was killed by one of the emissary good guy Predators when he accidentally gets in its way. The final film, on the other hand, portrayed Coyle being mercy killed by Baxley after they were mortally wounded in the battle that took place in the forest, where Lynch was killed by an evil upgrade Predator. Although not much has been altered here, the original scripts seem to have given a more befitting and tonal ending to both of these powerful characters. The deleted scene with Casey's Predator moment. In the original screenplay, after Casey had crash-landed in the escape pod, she was met with one final living hybrid Predator who had survived its brigade's destruction, but weirdly enough, when it approached anywhere near Casey, its collar activated, wounding it mortally and allowing Casey to finish off the rest of the job by uprooting its spine. This interesting scene too failed to make the movie's final cut. An entire subplot with Chief Kehetu in Prey 2022 was cut out. The movie actually had a menagerie of scenes showcasing Chief Kehetu, his son Wasape, and his wife Sumu. In the final cut, Chief Kehetu was approaching his death and henceforth was looking for someone to take his place as the successor of the tribe. One of the deleted scenes included Naru overhearing the chief and his wife about looking for a warrior chief to take his place. When a little girl struggled to tie her bow together, Naru bent over to help her, asking her to keep it clean, which later became a portent in the movie for when she falls in the mud. This little girl makes an appearance at the end, later in the movie as well. Following that, another scene had Naru falling from a tree and later regaining consciousness in Tipi, where the conversation had taken place with the chief rather than her mother. All of these scenes failed to make the final cut of the movie, as the filmmakers did not want to pull the plot's prime focus from Naru's character or digress the story arc towards something else. Sunrise scene from Prey 2022 deleted. When the trailer of Prey was released, the audience witnessed a vivacious scene of the sun rising as Naru walks past the field. It is assumed that this scene took place in the movie when Naru had set out to hunt. The scene, however, did not make the final cut of the released movie and left the fans wondering about the existence of this scene. The deleted scene with the feral predator preparing for battle. There was more to the footage after Naru had left the campfire, as it incorporated the shocking arrival of the feral predator and poking the fire with combi stick, after which he took off his bag and started fully loading his weapons. Following that, the feral predator cut the clamp after preparing the netball, eventually dropping the bolt into the bolt gun. This moment could be spotted in the early spots on TV. Unfortunately, this entire sequence was chopped out with the feral predator versus wolf scene because the makers of the movie wanted to show the audience the theatrics of how the feral predator is working his way to the top of the food chain. The alternate ending of the bear scene. The scene with the bear was shot, reshot, edited and re-edited quite a number of times. It was also given an alternative ending, even though the scene was originally scripted to use the wind as a device in the movie that would allow the bear to sniff Naru's presence. Even though the filmmakers had settled for the original script, the alternate plot had placed the bear with a buck or a deer alongside the predator, closely watching Naru observe the buck and the bear. The bear was alerted when Naru rocked over some rocks, followed by Sarai barking. The shot with the falling rocks alerting the bear felt very orchestrated and was a tonal misfit, and so the directors went back to do another shot again with the wind alerting the bear of Naru's presence, which was seen in the final movie. The treetop chase was not even shot. Before the mud pit sequence, there was a scene that was previewed and scripted but unfortunately not shot. The scene featured Naru swiftly running through the trees and the feral predator goofing off in pursuit of the treetops like Tarzan. The scene was supposed to end with a mega fight between Naru and the feral predator in the treetops, but the entire ordeal was not even shot for unknown reasons. The Predator franchise had a very exciting start, but the sequel, directed by Shane Black, contained a lot of flaws. Black demanded the project to be bigger in budget and scope, with more protagonists and antagonists, but it led to too much being stuffed into the story. The extensive reshoots and massive story changes led to the film failing to make sense in some places, with Anna and Schwarzenegger cameo being chopped out of both Predator 2 and the Predator 2018 version, and the entire third act of the latter movie being reshot again in the dark to achieve the desired visuals. The plot failed to cover the ground for obvious loopholes being created because of the incessant cuts and alterations from the original script. The Prey 2022, on the other hand, with its ancient era setting and indigenous cast representing tribe culture of that era, was nothing short of a fresh take on the same old Predator being killed by the military official plot. Nonetheless, the Predator franchise has harbored a cult following among the masses, with its adrenaline-rushing action, pulse-pounding gore, and power-packed punchlines. Please leave your thoughts and comments below and let us know of your favorite scene from the Predator franchise. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. And have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.